Move second.
Discussion, using 2 vote, favoring, opposed, items carried. Council members, the next item before us will be under matters held, and item 74. We have had some breakthrough discussions with the Linebarger firm, and believe there is a mutually agreed set of contracts to come forward, but we haven't directly received that at the table yet. And I'm going to call on Councilmember Costello to make a procedural motion to allow us a little more time to see if we can come to a resolution on this item. Councilmember Costello.
Thank you, Mayor. Colleagues, I'd like to make a motion to remove item 74 to the end of the agenda, pending the receipt of the Linebarger contract.
So it won't go to the next week, so to the end of the agenda, if it's pending the receipt of the Linebarger contract, we can take it up later in the agenda if that becomes timely, but it will be considered today. Is that your substance of the motion? And there is a second and discussion. Councilmember Costello, do you wish to address it any further? Seeing none, Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, ma'am. We don't have the contracts in now.
No, sir.
Okay, so I would like to, I don't know, by the end of the day, would they give us time to review the contracts? And so I didn't second and I didn't vote on Councilmember Costello's motion because I don't think that's going to be enough time, because I'm still disturbed by I don't think any changes have been made about council being taken out of the review process. Without on the Purdue contract or the Linebarger, but I know we're not discussing Linebarger now. But again, I mentioned 2 weeks ago about the strike-off. When Attorney Feldman said it was a draft, and I understand that, but now it's not a draft. But I still would like to see, and there are other council members around the table who would like to get an understanding of, because I had a meeting with him and Attorney Feldman, and asked him, was there another way where we can keep council in the process? And I haven't seen it, so I don't think other council members are going to be in line. Just by moving it back to the end of the day, it will be, I guess, acceptable of that.
I'm sorry, Councilmember, you misunderstood. And I want to be clear. We have a contract with Purdue on the agenda, item 74, which council members have seen and I believe are ready to vote up or down. There have been further conversations and negotiations with Linebarger. We would like, and that has given us an indication that there should be some minor changes to the Purdue branding contract. We would like to bring the 2 contracts forward together so that council members can fully view them side by side. But I want to frankly make sure that the Purdue branding item stays on the agenda timely for today to make sure that those contract negotiations don't end.
Okay.
And then at that point, council members can either vote them up or down, or the Linebarger item would be taggable, and certainly, while it would be a difficulty for Purdue Brandon, the Purdue Brandon item would either be taggable or delayable as well. Councilmember Boyd.
Thank you, Mayor. I totally agree with Councilmember Davis in his comment, and I want to be real clear that before I even consider voting on anything, if we're making adjustments, Mayor, I look at it. I have a lawyer as the chief of staff. I trust her judgment. I just want to make certain that I know what we're looking at. There are no tweaks, and I'm very, very, very committed to making certain what Councilmember Davis brought to the body of the council last week, where the draft indicated that council had no input, and now we're looking at a hearing that the final document will probably consist of the same language. And I'm going to have a major problem with that. Councilmember Davis was very articulate last week, reminding the public and the council that we were voted to represent our districts and the taxpayers in the city of Houston, not give all the authority away. And so I hope before we vote, Mayor, maybe I misunderstood. You're saying at the end of the agenda, maybe at the end of the budget process, or maybe at the end of the Non-consent, I'm not certain, but I want to make certain that I look at both of them from a legal perspective and see what we're looking at to make certain that what I'm reading and voting on, I'm very clear about.
Council members, if we can't come to a successful resolution with Linebarger, we have a contract with Purdue Brandon that the administration is comfortable with and fully ready to vote on today. But we have had some very productive discussions, and again, if they bear out, we get everybody to agreement. It would necessitate some minor changes to the Purdue Brandon contract. I'd like to bring both of them to council together so everybody can see them at the same time.
Yeah.
All we're trying to do is to delay this process to give them an opportunity to move forward on that. What will happen if, I'll either come back and say, we have both items, or I'll come back and say, we couldn't get there, and it'll be up to council to decide whether to move forward with Purdue Brandon as it stands or not. And it will happen today during the agenda.
Okay. So that means at this point right now, the Purdue Brandon contract, proposed contract, is it up for discussion right now? You're saying
It is.
when can we cue in on that?
The motion is to delay it until we get more information on its companion contract with Linebarger.
That's what's on the floor now.
We will take action on it today. It's just delaying it into the agenda until the other contract is before us. Councilor, we're clear. Yes, okay.
We're not voting on it.
No, sir. The motion is to delay it until
I
later.
wrote that little short bus to school. I want to be real clear on this, Mayor. Because there's a lot of moving parts on it.
Yes, sir. And we have a looming deadline. We really need to get this done. Councilmember Bradford.
I'm not sure the purpose of Councilman Costello's motion on the floor. Because, Mayor, you're saying that both contracts are expected to be tweaked a bit. So one, we have not seen at all, except for the draft that Councilmember Davis passed out that has some very disturbing language in it, as far as I'm concerned, but that's not the item in chief right now. If you're going to tweak the Purdue contract, we don't know what those tweaks are going to be, and I really wish Mr. Fenton was here, because Mr. Fenton was the same guy that said we could disregard black letter law when it came to amending historic preservation stuff he did. So if you can disregard black letter law, how's he going to respond to language in a contract, and particularly the Linebarger contract, which we have not seen and will get for the first time today? How are we going to review that contract and the tweaks to the Purdue contract and then vote on all that today? So I'm asking Councilman Costello, what's the purpose of this motion? You think we can do all that while we're still doing other business? Now, I'd like to yield to the mayor, if I may. It's his motion.
Councilmember, it's my understanding that the Linebarger contract is just about done. We're just trying to finalize the paperwork. And what's going to happen is, as a result of that contract, will require an amendment to the Purdue contract. So we would prefer to see both contracts at the same time so that they match.
Do you mind if this council member have a chance to review the Linebarger contract?
Well, I mean, that's up to council when that contract comes before us. I'm just deferring this particular item so that we can look at both at the same time.
Councilmember Bradford, if I may respond, as I said to the previous council member, it's not our intention to necessarily get this passed today. What we're trying to do is line them up side by side. At the same time, we don't want to pass this Purdue Brandon contract if we want. We're trying to give Linebarger an opportunity to stay in the game, and to be able to make sure that council is fully informed about the two contracts side by side. The only way to make sure that happens is to delay this item to see if we can finish negotiations with Linebarger. And then, as I said earlier, council members can tag the Linebarger item, they can tag any amendments to the Purdue item, or they can make a motion to delay the Purdue item so that both end up on the same agenda at the same time.
If the tweaks to the Purdue contract and the language is not removed or modified in the Linebarger contract, which takes authority completely away from council and allows the city attorney to solely recall, retract, rescind, strike, use assignment committees to modify contracts, change percentages. That's wrong, and this council member is not going to support giving that authority on major contracts like this solely and exclusively to the city attorney. That's why I want to see those two contracts. What you said are tweaks, you know, they may be twerks. That's I want to see it, and I want to read it, and I don't know, Costello, that we're going to have time even if it's approach today.
Okay. Again, for the third time, there is no intention for the administration to try to jam this through council.